G'day guys, it's Matt here. Welcome to the channel. Now, this video is going to be just a short little video trying to explain about time efficiency of the D11s. With the D11s, it's pretty much horses for courses. Now, not everyone needs a D11. For us, it was just a case of the time efficiency really appealed to us, and basically that's why we have them. Most people, a D6 is absolutely fine, and we don't really like to compare in one sense because it's just they're different machines for different purposes. But in saying that, it is good to compare in a way. So it's just to make sure the numbers match up and that you're not just throwing money out the window. Now, the other thing is Dad was talking to the boys about this, did get it on camera, but the microphone on the GoPro has been a little bit funny recently. So it's not overly clear, plus the dozers were in the background and all of that. But hopefully it's clear enough to understand the conversation. But I do have new microphones coming for the GoPro. Initially I didn't want to put big microphone on it or any of that because it makes it hard to carry around and it's not as easy and you're not as likely to take it everywhere you go. But yeah, it's starting to get a bit hard to understand and a bit annoying. So I'm trying to improve the audio. So bear with us, but hopefully you can enjoy just a little bit of chit chat.
Hi guys, Peter here. I'm with Brad and Phil. You very rarely see them both pulled up together like this with the engine still running. It's because there was caffeine in the air and someone brought some coffee out for them, so they always find the time to be able to pull up for a coffee.
Smoko van arrived.
Smoko van.
Thank you, Dad.
And I haven't warned them at all what I'm going to ask them. But a lot of people have been interested in how efficient these girls are compared to the, say, a D6 compared to these. My thoughts are roughly along the lines that, you know, the D6s of that era pushed about 3 metres of dirt, and these push 30, so they're 10 times the size. But I would have thought that you'd probably get 8 times the efficiency because the little fellas are nimble and they can duck and weave. But if you've got wide open spaces, these old girls really come into their own, even on small jobs, don't they? They just do a small job really quickly. How do you? Well, yeah, but because I haven't.
No more to say.
Because I haven't actually talked to you about it, I'm just wondering, is that sort of?
I'd say it's probably 5 times more efficient on this sort of stuff, and probably 8 times efficient on the bulk pushing.
Yeah, like cleaning out a dam or something like that.
Yeah, making dams.
So where the country's got a steep grade like here, you need to borrow more out of your trade, aren't you? Because and so that's a bigger job. But you were doing 3 cuts to get it deep enough to push your bank up. But if a D6 was attempting to do that, I don't think it would be economical.
Well, it's just a small bank.
They'll do.
They do it. Probably not a lot slower, but it's
10 times more dirt.
Yeah, with a 6.
So I reckon about 8 times more efficient, that sort of work. And I think if you paid less for commercial sensitivities, we won't actually say, or we can't say a lot about our cost structure. But if you say allowed 50 Australian dollars for a good man on a dozer, if you need 8 D6s or 10 D6s to do what these girls are doing, that's 10 times 50 bucks wages. So there's $500. Now you're getting very, very close to what the overall cost of a D11 in the paddock, plus you'd have to put fuel on top of that. So that's the sort of issues that you're facing. I think for servicing, you know, probably 1,000 hours, you'd replace your hydraulic oil or it'd leak out and you replace it anyway. Your transmission, we're short changing that probably, so there'd be 1,000 hours per transmission oil. So there's 200 litres on the 100 litres on the engine oil, 200 on the transmission, and 200 on your hydraulic oil, and that's roughly $5 a litre. Coolant, what do they take? 200 or 100? 220 coolant. So that's $5 for the Red Cat coolant. So your numbers are up there, but I'm guessing, you know, bring it back to a 250 hour oil change, you're probably looking at, you know, $5 or $6 an hour for your oil and servicing.
It all comes back to your cubic metres pushed.
When it comes to servicing, our oil filters on these things, there's 2 oil filters on the engine, well, they're $30 each. I'm not sure what it is for a D6, but I know they use about 20 to 25 litres, so these things use about 400% more fuel, but they're achieving probably 8 to 10 times the cubic metre capacity on a long push. On short pushes, they're not quite so good. But would that, does that sound reasonable, Brad? That we're not holding anyone.
Oh, we don't like to compare.
Well, yes, we do.
Someone over here holding the camera likes to compare.
Well,
it puts too much pressure on us if you compare. We've all got their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing to take home. It's not, these are not superior in every job.
No.
But you've just got to weigh up what you want to do with your, what work you got for them and how many cubic metres you want pushed. But I'd say if you're pushing contours above 6 degrees slope, this is where they come into their own. So on 10 degrees slope, we're putting 4 or 5 pushes into the bank just to get the bank height of say 600 or 800 mil. So like we're wanting a good broad farm over contour bank, so that's why we're prepared to pay a little bit more to move a bit more dirt to make them a nice roll over bank. But you could get D6 in, do a short, small bank, still run the water, and be probably a lot cheaper per kilometre. But we're seeing the value in the dirt.
In the redundancy.
We got the 20k sprayer test.
Yeah, well, the boys seem to think that you've got to be able to fly over these banks with at 80 k's or 100 k's without the wheels coming off the ground. And
20 k's with a sprayer.
20 k's with a sprayer, yeah. So anyway, folks, we'll just see whether this passes the editor's cutting floor and see what happens.